Welcome back everybody, my name is Nick930 and this is a video review for the new competitive online shooter game Lawbreakers. Lawbreakers is a class-based competitive first-person shooter built on the Unreal 4 engine. It's built by a brand new studio called Boss Key Productions. This studio is comprised of several individuals that have worked on much bigger titles like Unreal Tournament, Battlefield 4, and Star Wars Battlefront 2, the old one from 2005. Lawbreakers takes a lot of inspiration from games like Team Fortress 2 and Overwatch. It features a large ensemble of characters to choose from, each with their own special abilities and unique weapons. Unlike other first-person shooters, Lawbreakers does not allow you to change or modify your weapons within class types. In fact, the only things you can unlock while playing this game are extra skins and stickers for your guns. This puts every player on an even playing field and forces players to work together to achieve their goals. The entire game is designed with a rock, paper, scissors mentality, meaning even if you have to jump on an enemy, you may not end up killing them simply because the class you chose isn't designed to defeat that specific enemy class. This is why you need to rely heavily on sticking with your team and focusing on playing the objective. While this isn't necessarily the problem with Lawbreakers, it's definitely something to consider if you're interested in this game, as I expected this game to be more like Unreal Tournament based on the screenshots on the store page. While the graphical design may look like Unreal, this is very much an Overwatch clone, and if you're not a fan of class-based games like Overwatch, then you're better off steering clear. But what makes this class-based shooter any different from Overwatch? Not much really, in fact, that's one of the biggest problems I have with it. Lawbreakers features less maps, less characters, and overall less variety than Overwatch, making it difficult to find reasons to recommend Lawbreakers over it. The only thing that's unique to Lawbreakers is the zero gravity concept, but that isn't nearly as prevalent as the game's store page makes it out to be. Essentially, every map has a center area that has no gravity, and you can sprint straight up into the air and around objects while shooting enemies. This can be a bit confusing at first because every class handles differently with different modes of sprinting, but if you stick with one class and learn how they operate, it becomes pretty simple to understand and can make for some interesting firefights. Unfortunately, these zero-G spaces are severely limited, and almost every objective takes place inside some small confined room somewhere else on the map. You'll end up getting into a firefight with maybe one other person in zero gravity as you try and flank the enemies to get some easy kills. So it feels like the zero gravity bit was just tacked on at the last second to help this game stand out from Overwatch, but it's painfully obvious when playing that it's not a major part of the gameplay. The classes all feel good with plenty of classes for everyone. There's the heavy classes with rocket launchers and miniguns that help keep enemies at a distance, and then there's the more fast-paced covert classes that are armed with fast pistols, knives, and katanas. And then there's basic soldier classes with assault rifles and railguns, and of course a medic class to help support the team. In addition to standard weapons, each class also has special abilities and movement styles. For example, the Infiltrator can teleport when you press sprint, and has access to dual pistols, one of which is automatic while the other has a sort of charge-up effect that can do increased damage with precision shots. Then there's this class that uses a shotgun that you can equip with a type of increased armor that lets you devastate enemies while having increased health. The best way to describe this game is basically take away all the standard weapons in Black Ops 3's multiplayer and only play with these specialist abilities, and that's Lawbreakers. Lawbreakers features only competitive online multiplayer, and there's no way to play this game with any type of AI bots, so you're stuck relying on the game's overall player count in order to even play. This is a major issue, especially considering that this game, only a day after release, only has 1,800 players playing on Steam. For reference, Counter-Strike and Team Fortress have well over 50,000 players playing each. This is a miserable player count for a new game, and I can't help but think of games like Brink that also launched poorly and featured only online competitive multiplayer, while also basically stealing all their concepts from other popular shooters at the time. This is an absolute major problem with the game, and the biggest reason I recommend avoiding Lawbreakers. But how does this game look and perform? Pretty well actually. The Unreal 4 engine does this game justice and seems to be at its best with games like this. The colors are vibrant and the particle effects look great, especially when in massive firefights with several enemies. The game's performance, even with the graphics cranked up to their maximum values, managed to maintain an average 130 frames per second, and I never witnessed any type of stuttering or graphical glitches in any of my time playing. If you want to look at a full match of this game with a frame rate counter displayed, check out my PC benchmark for Lawbreakers. I'll include a link at the end. The sound quality is also great, but I did find the characters yelling out to be a bit cheesy, especially considering this game seems to be targeting a more mature audience than games like Overwatch. So in conclusion, Lawbreakers is a class-based first-person shooter that tries to pretend it's different from Overwatch by adding a gimmicky zero-gravity area to each map. The player count is so low that the game will be dead by the end of the month, leaving you with a game you can't play that you spent $30 on. I recommend avoiding Lawbreakers and instead picking up Overwatch if you're interested in this style of game. I hope this video was helpful, and if you want to see more from me, be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you all next time.